Under-Secretary of State for Foreign Affairs, Member of Parliament of the Five Star Movement since 2013, and has also, like some of our ministerial participants today, his own technology background is an IT consultant, I believe. So, Minister, over to you.
Thank you so much. It's a real pleasure for me being here today. I would like to really thank Lord Willets and Carlo Calenda for this, for being here today and organizing this event. The British Ambassador Morris for the kind attention she always has to our governments and what we do and what we try to create, and also to our ambassador to the UK, Raffaele Trombetta. And I would also really like to thank Ms. Badenoch. Actually, we are 3 times colleagues. Both are MPs, member of government, and computer engineers. So that's pretty cool, let's say. And also, obviously, Lord Basil for the intervention he just ended. Well, during the COVID crisis, we discovered how intense our relations are among Italy and UK. And I mean, this connection is not just on the economic systems. We perfectly know how much they are interconnected, but also at the social level, and all the contacts that's been in place also to fight the pandemic were a symbol of that. And I really hope that this friendship is also really intense in the multilateral fora could really continue this path in the future. Italy, like the UK, is primarily an exporting country, and from 2010 to 2019, our export really dramatically increased by 41%, reaching in 2019 a record of 475 billion euros. That actually is 1/3 of our GDP, and this probably is something comparable to the same ratio that in UK the export has. The positive trend of Italian foreign trade is also witnessed by the trade surplus that we have. It is almost 53 billion euros after Germany. We are the first for trade surplus in Europe. And this is the reason why we're really looking at 2020 to break the wall of 500 billion export. But as you know, then the black swan appeared, the COVID-19. So we had to really think on how to recover and how to fix our economy and put some really extraordinary effort in place to avoid any really even worse consequence. So, in fact, even though the numbers of the first 2 months after the lockdown were positive in terms of relaunch of the export, the general data of the year are obviously not good. And in the first 7 months of 2020, our export decreased of 14% and import 17%. So these numbers are what we are dealing with in this moment. And I would say that even though the situation is like I just mentioned, the reaction from our government was immediate. And if I look to my specific role in Minister of Foreign Affairs and what we are doing with the Minister of Foreign Affairs, we really put a lot of effort on defining an innovative strategy to relaunch our export, and we created the so-called Patto per l'Export, so export pact. Well, Minister Di Maio launched this proactive strategy last June. It was the 8th of June, at the presence of several ministers, public authorities, and the main Italian business associations. The export pact relies on 6 main pillars: communication, promotion, information and training, trade fairs, e-commerce, and export trade finance. Each pillar has several digital features. Let me stress that to set this strategy we used a very inclusive approach, which we pursued through a wide online consultation process. Actually, I personally did it during the lockdown, and we involved more than 140 Italian business associations. This wide consultation was conducive to a better understanding of the needs of the business world in this critical phase, and obviously allowed us to shape our strategy for the future. First, the Italian Business Association underlined the importance of developing a digital communication campaign able to convey a new image of our country that, as you know, was very hit by the first arrival of the crisis, where everyone in the world thought that Italy was the only place outside China where the COVID-19 has eaten. So this was one of the first requests that they gave to us. This campaign is now will be ready until the end of October, and it will be a very innovative one, using mostly social medias, but also in general new technologies like also video games and other 21st century possibilities. Second, the private sector encouraged us to continue with our promotion initiatives. We have a campaign, a set of events called the Promozione Integrata that are made by our diplomatic network, and through these initiatives we aim at promoting the Italian excellence in several domains. We just expanded this domain, trying to tell the world something more than the very famous 3F of the Italian fashion, food and foreigners, so going to the other sectors where we are really in the front line, like aerospace, innovation, technology, health. Moreover, let me stress that we are well aware of the complexity of the current global trade scenario and its ceaseless evolution, and that's the reason why the government is willing to act promptly to help companies improving their competences and skills, so to better equipped to face the challenges of our time and grasp many opportunities that the globalized market offers. To this end, we are working to make the expertise of several thousand of digital export managers available for our entrepreneurs. This is a new project that we just launched. We have a strategy that put together the government, the universities, the Italian universities, and also the big companies like the GAFA, for example, so Google, Facebook, Amazon, and so on, to help us in creating new skills that will be offered to our companies to better develop in this modern time. At the same time, last June, Minister Di Maio presented an e-book to illustrate in a user-friendly way to our companies the numerous public schemes and incentives put in place by our government, and rapidly it turned into a website that is already online, export.gov.it, that we have just launched, and in the first release is just, I would say, a static website where you can find, where all companies can find all the information about the instruments that they are ready to be used. But in the last release, that will be before the end of the year, they will have a system that will include artificial intelligence, machine learning, and a chatbot. So the result will be a system ready to give the right answer to the right company, and not just all the set of instruments that are online. Obviously, we are launching other agreements with the big marketplace. We have already a set of agreement with the biggest one, Ocado, Alibaba, Amazon, GDA.com, but we are creating new ones. And the fifth pillar is trade fairs. You know how much Italy is strong on the fairs. We are very proud to have been the first in Europe opening again the trade fairs in this autumn. I personally been part to the MIPEL and MICAM, that are two of the biggest that we have in Italy, and absolutely one of the biggest in the world. And with this kind of mix between digital and physical presence, we have achieved very good numbers, more than 3,000 buyers coming from abroad, so we really relaunched that. Obviously, we had the need to help in a financial terms also this environment where they have lost more than 70% of their normal income. At the same time, the last very important pillar of the strategy is the export and trade finance. Actually, half of the economic investment that we did is specifically on that, 1.2 billion euros, and the idea was to really help the SMEs to go abroad, to find new markets and to find new opportunities through the digitalization. The results was pretty good in terms of data that we have. Consider that in 2019, the whole year, we have we achieved the result of 239 million euros of grants and loans, and in the first 2 months of after the lockdown, we achieved the result of 864 million. So, I mean, and 99% of the companies are SMEs, and 82% are new SMEs join the program. So it means that the simplification really worked out. So through this big process of digitalization and innovation, I'm sure that Minister Pisano told you a lot about that, we are really trying to have a new Italian momentum made on these two specific pillars. Obviously, we look at the post-Brexit in a very strategic way. I don't have to remember you how much our economies are interconnected, and if we really look at the no-deal Brexit in January 2021, we really look at the catastrophe. So we really have to focus on how to help each other and create a new shape of our relations. I'm sure that in this new year, where we will have a lot of possibility to exchange, like the G20, the G7 presidencies, will find a new way and a new path together to work on for the future. And I'm sure that the very similar approach that we have to this multilateral forum, mostly based on the new year on the climate change and building new opportunities, will really help on having new agreements. We will co-chair the COP26. This will be another good opportunity to shape a mix of dialogues, both on the idea that you have for the future of the world, but obviously also on a political term. So I'm really looking forward to this new year of relations, trying to achieve the best, even though the times are not very good for every one of us and for the European Union as well. So I really hope that this partnership will keep on being very solid in the year to come, and I really thank you for this opportunity to share my ideas with you.